You're also welcome. So I was referencing this amazing book called Breath, right? And the chapter I'm reading about at the moment is about anxiety and how anxiety disorders are the most common, that and depression, the most common mental health difficulties that people have, and how effective and transformative the breath is. And as he says, those with the worst anxieties consistently suffer from the worst breathing habits. So people with any kind of anxiety, to avoid another attack or an anxiety attack or any of their phobias, they breathe more. And so they breathe far too much and they become hypersensitized to carbon dioxide. They're anxious because they're overbreathing, and they're overbreathing because they're anxious. So it's this cycle. And so all week I've been thinking I wanted to do, for these few weeks of Zoom, I wanted to do some classes that we could have as a resource, as such, different kinds of classes than the usual. So last week we did the ladder flow. And today I wanted to do a class where we have movement, but we also have a really powerful breath technique and a couple of different breathing patterns through the class to really help us to get out of that churning. And very often anxiety is where we start thinking about something and then the churning starts. And one of the most helpful ways for us to come out of anxiety, come out of that churning, that overthinking, the double guessing, the inner critic saying, oh God, why did you say that? And what now? You shouldn't have done that, all of that stuff. And then thinking more and more and more about it. And the most helpful thing is to become present. So to feel your body and feel your breath, to get out of the thinking. So we're going to start with a powerful breath technique that does exactly that. That kind of is like, Keir Millis calls them pattern interrupts. So we kind of have this unconscious momentum going along in our brain. It's creating all these different physical reactions. And what we want to do is just have a stop. So a brief pattern interrupt, and then we re-engage with ourselves in a fresher way. And so for these 45 minutes, see, can you really just be present? Notice your body and feel your breath. So let's start with our eyes closed and drop in. And begin to breathe consciously. So as you inhale, the breath goes down to the bottom of the lungs, pushes the diaphragm down. The diaphragm moves down to muscle that pushes the belly out. And as you exhale, the diaphragm rises and the belly comes back in. So we're not using abdominal muscles. The diaphragm is pushing the belly out, but it only does that when we get the breath right down to the bottom of the lungs. Thereby the diaphragm descends. When we breathe shallower breath up here, we never get down there to the bottom of the lungs. In the bottom of the lungs is where the receptors are for the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest digest. The receptors that activate the vagus nerve that goes through the whole body and has an effect of switching on and off different systems. And so to switch on the rest and digest, the parasympathetic nervous system, our endocrine system to work effectively, all our hormones, our digestive system, we need to get the breath right down into the bottom of the lungs. And notice your spine tall, like an antenna, your sitting bones on the floor, or on the chair, or on the cushion. So we're going to do a fast breath technique to start, right? So the first 30 seconds, we're going to go into the nose, out to the mouth. And then we're going to go into the mouth, out to the nose. Okay? So eyes are closed, hands whatever way, right? So I often like the Buddhi Mudra, where your right hand's on your left, your thumbs are touching, Gyan Mudra, or just your hands down. You kind of get a feeling of what feels comfortable in your body. What mudras I use has changed over time. And so we're going to start with in through the nose, out to the mouth. So eyes closed. So it's a little bit fast. It's not hyper fast, right? But it's faster. You're pursing the lips to exhale out. And now switch in mouth, out nose. And use the belly coming in to push that air out to the nose. In mouth, out nose. You may feel a bit dizzy. If that happens, stop. Take a couple of breaths, no problem. So belly expands as you inhale. And then pull the belly in as you exhale. Stay really focused. So you guys are familiar with us using these different breathing techniques and Kundalini practices to pattern into up. So stay with it. It can be a little bit uncomfortable. We want to create that shift. Nearly there. Stay with it. Keep going. Take a deep inhale through your mouth. Pause, hold the breath. Lift the pelvic floor. Have this feeling of the cerebral spinal fluid being squeezed up to the center of the brain. Your attention at the third eye. Squeeze, hold. Be very still. Relax your shoulders. Focus at the third eye in towards the center of the brain. Exhaling through the nose. We'll take another one like that. So deep inhale through your mouth. Pause, hold, squeeze. So lift the pelvic floor, the muscles of the lower abdomen draw in, the shoulders relax, eye gaze center of the forehead. Exhale when you're ready. Just sit very still for a moment, drop in. And perhaps set an intention here for the rest of your practice. Really nice. Let's come around to all fours. Hands beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. Inhaling arch. Exhaling round. And let's go at a little bit of pace. Inhaling, exhaling, and find the pace that suits your body. And just Be fully attentive to the breath and the movement. So trusting that by really focusing on being present, coming away from the thinking mind, when you return to your day, thinking and planning, you'll have created a pattern interrupt, a shift, and it'll be with new eyes that you come back. And so commit to really focusing on being present here to yourself. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Tuck your toes and push back into down dog. Take a full inhale and a long exhale. Bend your knees, push into the hands, and then really lift the sitting bones towards the sky. Take a full inhale. And then as you exhale, carefully straightening the legs. And as you breathe here, really feel like you can get the breath right down into the lowest part of the lungs. Feel the kidney area at your back expanding. And let the exhale be long and maybe a little bit longer than the inhale. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Really nice. And now walk your hands back to your feet and fold forwards. Hold on to your elbows and deep breaths. And again, exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. So nice for our spine, creating a little bit of length, gravity, allowing your spine to traction down. And so 1 more deep breath here. And a long exhale. Release your hands and let's roll up. So vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly coming up. Really nice. So let's come to the top of your mat. Feet planted on the ground. Inhale, reach up, look up. Interlace your hands and lean to one side as you exhale. Inhale back to center. And lean to the other side as you exhale. No rush. Just breathing, moving, fully present. Inhale to center. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. And exhale, step your right foot back and pop your right knee down. And leave your hands on the floor here initially and lengthen your chest forwards. And then bring your hand to your thigh of your left leg and lift the chest. So creating space, lengthening the whole front body. And then reach up and hook your thumbs. And so when we low lunges, right, a real favorite of mine, and we do them in nearly every class, because they have this amazing effect of not only opening in the front of the quad and the hip flexors, but creating this lovely space in the psoas, again, up into the lungs, the chest, and then lengthening in the spine. And so feel that as you breathe here. So creating space, such an important feature of our yoga practice, right? Allowing everything to move nice and fluidly. So our breath our spine, our digestion. Really nice. And so now hands down, step back into plank. Take a full inhale. And then exhale all the way to the floor. Inhale up into Cobra. And let's stay here breathing. So draw the shoulder blades down your back, lift the chest, and see, can you lift more with your spine than your hands? The legs are firm, so the front of the feet pressing into the floor, maybe the knees a tiny bit lifted. One more deep inhale. Exhale all the way down. Inhale back up to Cobra. Exhale into down dog. Full inhale. A long exhale. Let's do two more just like that. So really inviting the breath to be long and deep. Training the body to adjust to long, deep breaths. And the more that we do this training of the breath, the more that we can access diaphragmatic breathing throughout the day. We just kind of more naturally go to it. And now left knee down, right foot forward between your hands. So start with your hands down and lift the chest. And feel that lovely lengthening. And so it's all about that, creating a bit of space in your body. It's not about the perfect pose or getting the right amount of stretch. It's the moving your body, breathing with your presence. And so really let go of any expectation, judgment, inner narrative, all that stuff. Just feel the breath. Feel the stretch, the movement. So hand on your thigh now, sink down and lift the chest. Really nice. And then reach up, hook your thumbs and create all that length with each breath. When we breathe deeply down into the diaphragm, stimulating those receptors for the parasympathetic nervous system, we also, that movement of the diaphragm where the belly then pushes out has a fantastic massaging effect on all the internal organs. So it's super wonderful for keeping all of those internal organs, liver, colon, intestines, kidneys, all of these, that they get a gentle movement with each breath that we breathe deeply. Really nice. Hands down, step back into plank. Take a full inhale. And then exhale, lower to the ground. So keep your hands where they are. Lift up into Cobra. And then lift your legs as well. And breathe here. Again, using your spinal muscles and long, deep breaths. Really drop in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale into Cobra. And exhale back into down dog. Full inhale. A long exhale. Bend your knees and walk step to the top of your mat. Inhale, come all the way up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's move on the breath. Inhale, reach up, no rush. And exhale, lean to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale to center. Exhaling, fold forwards. Inhale halfway. Exhale, right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, reach up. And let's stay here. Hook your thumbs as you exhale, sink in. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, sink in. Release the hands. Come all the way to the floor. Step back into plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Lift the legs, lift up into Shalabhasana, hands on the floor. And stay here as you exhale. Shoulders away from the ears. One more full inhale. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale up into Cobra. And exhale into Down Dog. Full inhale. A long exhale. Left knee down, right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sink in. Inhale, reach up and back. Upper arm bones draw back. Tailbone draws under. Create all that lovely length. And then exhale, hands down. Left foot joins the right, top of your mat. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Let's go one more time. Inhale, reach up. Interlace your hands and lean to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale to center. Exhaling, fold forwards. Have that sense of slowing down on the inside. Just you, your breath, your movement. Inhale, lift your heart. Left foot back, left knee down. So you're consciously interrupting the churning. If your thoughts start to arise, just set them aside. Inhale, reach up. Sink in as you exhale. Inhale, reach up and back, lengthen, create that space. Exhaling, hands down and come to plank. Full inhale. Right down into the bottom of the lungs. And exhale, slowly lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift the legs, lift the chest. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, regular Cobra. Exhaling, Down Dog. Keep coming back. It's absolutely normal for your mind to keep wandering. We just very patiently keep coming back. Right knee down, left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sink in. Inhale, reach up and back. And then exhale, hands down. Right foot joins the left. Top of your mat folding. Inhale, come all the way up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. So step your feet wide on the mat and interlace your hands behind your back. So the feet are parallel, toes pointing forward. Inhale, lift your chest, knuckles down, maybe look up. And then exhale, fold forwards. And long, deep breaths. So here, ever so slightly walk towards the front of your heels, so your weight is even between the front and the back of your feet. And breathe and let go. Let go of anything that has been disturbing you lately. So ask yourself, am I willing to let it go? And when I come back to it with different eyes, I can see it in a new light. So working with our anxiety, our busy minds, it's not that our minds become so still, it's that we become so skillful at understanding our triggers, understanding what's happening. Oh, there's my racing mind. Oh, I'm feeling anxious. Okay, breathe. Okay, let it go. Okay, notice my sensations. That we become skillful at talking to ourselves and coming into the present moment and interrupting the pattern of the churning. And it's a lifetime job, right? So maybe it takes a while to do it the first time. And then the next time it's a little bit quicker. And then over time, we get more and more skillful. And using the breath. Really carefully firm the legs. Put your hands to your waist. And inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, release your hands. Just stand for a moment. Really nice. So let's very carefully come to sitting. With your legs forward. Good to pull the outside of the thighs out. Inhale here, spine nice and tall. And then exhale, reach forward. So keep thinking of your sternum, your chest going forward. So we're not rounding down. So creating all this length in the spine. And it doesn't matter where your hands come to, right? They might come to the feet, they might come to the shins. It doesn't matter at all. Just breathe here. So full, deep breath. And a long exhale. Am I willing to let go of that which disturbs my peace? Really nice, carefully release. I'll just do one more here. So come down onto your back, press your feet into the floor and lift up into bridge pose. So creating space in our bodies and then moving the energy towards the brain, moving the flow towards the brain. So forward folds. Here in bridge also. Panic, fear, anxiety, they're all located in different centers of the brain, the amygdala, and also the specific receptors that gauge our carbon dioxide. And so when we draw our attention to our third eye, where the attention goes, the energy flows. So you're really activating and firing up the inner brain, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, those master glands. And so it's all very subtle, right? But in my experience, very effective. Now slowly, slowly coming down. Wonderful. So we're going to come into a seated pose for a really nice breathing technique. So just draw the knees into the chest and rock a little bit side to side. And let's come to sitting. So any way that's comfortable for you to sit. For some people, it might be comfortable to sit on a chair. That's absolutely fine. So this particular practice really helps to balance the mind, the limbic back mind, and helps us to have a good sense of coordination and that plasticity, flexibility of the brain. And we know that now neuroplasticity tells us that nothing is set, that we can constantly learn new things. We can change how we see things and perceive things. So even if we have had a tendency towards anxiety, it doesn't mean that's how it'll always be, that we have this ability to shift things and we have that neuroplasticity. And so this particular practice is good for that. So there's a very specific mudra. If you look at your hands, there are 3 knuckle joints, right? There's 3 joints. The first one is where your ring is. The second one is just above your knuckle. And then your third one is where your nail is, okay? So we're going to be working with the second joint. The thumbs are wrapped in your fingers and the second joint. So it's not where the nail is. It's not where your rings are. And they're touching. Really nice. And then it's here at your heart center. And so your knuckles are pointing out, your palms are pointing in. Really nice. Our eyes are going to be a tiny bit open, looking down at our hands or towards the floor, whatever feels comfortable. And it's really a tiny bit open only. It's like 1/10 open. We're going to be breathing into the nose, out to the mouth, into the mouth, out to the nose. And we're going to continue with that for the whole, we're going to go for 11 minutes. And I'll guide us through the first while of it, and then continue at your own pace. And we're breathing for about 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. Okay, let me set the timer and let's go. So the second knuckle touching, eyes slightly open, looking down, and take a deep breath through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth, slightly pursed lips. And again, about 4 seconds, exhale. Inhale through the mouth. And exhale through the nose. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. Stay focused. Don't let the mind wander. Inhale, nose, eyes down past the tip of the nose. Exhale, mouth. Inhale, mouth. And exhale, nose. I'll keep guiding for a few more rounds. If you find my pace doesn't suit you, go at your own pace. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Inhale, mouth. Exhale, nose. Keep going. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. In mouth. Nose. You want to go for long enough to create an adjustment in all the systems in the body. 11 minutes shown to be long enough to create a shift that lasts for 24 hours. So stay very present. Always remember to be so kind with yourself. There's some days our mind is more wandery than other days. We just work with what is, right? No, give yourself a hard time if your mind wanders. Just do our best in the given moment. In my own experience, the more I let myself off the hook, just do my best without any inner critic telling me I need to be more focused or I should be doing better. None of that business. I find I can focus a little bit better. Just work with what is. And as I often say, if it helps to count, then count. Some people quite like mantra. If it helps to say Sata Nama or something like that, that's also good. Or just stay with your eye gaze down towards your hands, breathing. Stay focused. Nearly there. Last few rounds. And when you're ready, take a deep inhale through your nose, close your eyes, reach your arms up overhead, and pause, hold. Really stretch the arms like you're trying to reach towards the sky, the ceiling. Lift your pelvic floor and really squeeze pelvic floor. So we're trying to squeeze cerebrospinal fluid up towards the center of the brain. So reach, squeeze, hold. Keep the arms up as you exhale. Take another deep inhale. Squeeze pelvic floor. Lift, reach the arms. Hold. Eyes center of the forehead. When you're ready, exhale, release the hands down. Just sit very still. Drop in. Sense your spine, your sitting bones. Notice your breath. And then have this sense of expanding out. So resist nothing, feel, hear the sounds around you. Sense the air around you. And just have this feeling of you filling up the space all around you, sensing, perceiving. And it's whatever you sense or perceive, right? It's about having this expanded sense of how you extend out beyond just your physical structure and the sounds, the senses, the people, the room in which you're in, the house. How we're all connected. This invisible field in which we exist in, the expanding out. So often anxiety is when we narrow our perception. Just take a couple more breaths here. And it's not a particular sense you have to have, just a feeling of your awareness expanded a little bit. Bring your hands to your heart. Your Sat Nam, your true identity. May all those you encounter throughout this day experience your light, your radiance, your presence. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. Sat Nam. Reflecting your being in presence. Just take just a moment here to notice how you feel.